Life's problems have their own schedule. So do you. When you need someone to talk to, Serena is there. Follow the link in the description for your free trial.
My husband, 33, lied about being at the club the whole night, yet he swiped his card at a hotel. My husband swiped his card at a hotel in the morning after a night out and only came home 5 hours after the message popped into his iPad. I called him 4 times in that period and he didn't pick. I just checked the hotel website and the amount swiped is the cost of a room for 2. The hotel is just 9 km from our house. He deleted the bank message from his iPad after getting home. His stories about how the party went down didn't add up. The hotel is out of the way from the club he claims he was at. He wasn't even that drunk for someone who allegedly partied for all those hours. I'm not dumb, I know he didn't book a room to go and pray. He is walking on eggshells around me, so I know he is guilty. How do I address this issue? I know once it's done there's no turning back. I know what you did and I'd much rather hear you be honest with me than try to spit another lie to me. Either way, I want to hear what you have to say for yourself. And that's the sort of conversation starter for this talk. You don't give the information on how you know, you just ask for his honesty. As for what you choose to do afterwards, that's a personal decision. Some people stay, most leave, it all depends on who you are and what you want to do if grace is given. You don't need a conversation or to pull it out of him. The evidence is all there. He doesn't deserve the chance to lie, deflect and gaslight. He leaves. No more talking. Pack him a bag and make him a return customer to that same hotel. Tell him to sign up for their rewards program because he'll be there for a while. Pack your things and leave. Don't even bother trying to have a conversation about it. Trust me on this. My fiancé almost got shot and it's kind of my fault. We went out downtown last night. It is known to be really unsafe there, but there was an event there that we wanted to attend. We had a few drinks and went to a few different bars, and at one of them I went to the bathroom. Without him, obviously. When I came out, I started walking back to where he was and I had to walk past a group of men who looked pretty intimidating. As I was walking towards them, one started talking to me. I stopped and told him I have a fiancé and started looking around, and at that same moment, I saw my fiancé walking towards me. I gave him a look that was meant to be an, "I'm sorry. I am annoyed to be in this conversation," look, and I was hoping he would just come up and gently pull me from the situation, maybe by saying something like, "Hey babe. Want to go grab a drink?" But that's not what happened. My fiancé, instead, came barreling in and got in the guy's face and started yelling. I'm not at all sure why I did, but I kind of walked away at this point. Moments later, my fiancé grabbed me and said we needed to get out of there now. We started quickly walking to my car and he yelled at me for the first time ever. He told me that the man had pulled out a gun and threatened him and that he could have just been killed. Waking up this morning, he told me he is upset that I even stopped and engaged with the man and that I should have just kept walking past. My perspective is that sometimes men like that get angry if a woman just straight up ignores them, and I didn't know how he would react, so in the moment I thought the best thing would be a brief conversation in which I told him I was not single. Which, looking back, may not have been the right choice. His perspective is that he saw an intimidating man looming over me and thought that I gave him a "help me" look, so he got upset, but that I shouldn't have put him in that situation in the first place. Of course, I feel terrible about it all and I am deeply upset and terrified about what could have happened. I'm just sitting here and the night keeps replaying in my mind and I can't help but feel extremely guilty about it all, and I just needed to get it out and maybe get some outside perspectives. Edit, update. We talked about it more and both agreed that we should have done things differently and will work to improve our approaches to difficult situations. My fiancé understands that he cannot escalate those kind of situations, going forward. He tells me that where he grew up, if men had an issue with each other they would fight it out, and that getting shot was never even a thought. He also explained that when I turned towards him and away from the man, what I didn't see was that the man looked like he was about to grab me, which contributed towards his reaction. He does understand that the way he handled it put both of us at risk, and he resolved that, going forward, he will check his emotions and work to stay calmer. He also told me that he feels that when I am drinking, I get a bit too comfortable with talking to people who I shouldn't. I can understand why he feels this way, and I have resolved to be more mindful of my surroundings and of who I speak to. I truly should have just kept walking past the men and pretended not to hear them, and if they had then caused issue with me ignoring them, I could have said I hadn't heard them and am trying to find my fiancé, and walked away. This is what I will do if this situation ever happens again. Thank you to everyone for taking the time out of your day to contribute and for your insight and thoughtful comments. Possible life or death situations follow a different trajectory than mere social blunders. You each should not be mad at the other. Also, be more careful when you go to questionable parts of town. Your fiancé shouldn't have gone aggressively towards strangers. This still isn't either of your fault. But that's what can happen if things escalate in public. It's not just fistfights and ass-kickings out there anymore. People will kill you. Your fiancé didn't handle it appropriately. He should have just casually walked up and say, "Hey guys, she's with me. Have a great night," and walked off with you. Your fiancé escalated the situation with his aggression and bravado. You did what your experience as a woman told you was safest in a very unsafe situation. There was no way to control or predict what would happen. The fault here is with the gun-pulling thug, not with either of you. He broke up with me, then 8 hours later wanted to take it back. Short story short, I'm 28F, stripper, and from the jump I've noticed that he's 33M. Not as cool with what I do as he says. I've been open and honest with him from the jump, but there have been issues with him thinking I'm messing around on him. I have absolutely never, and would never dream of betraying what we have together. But it keeps coming up. It all came to a head when I did a photo shoot and he didn't like the fact that I was wearing a see-through shirt. This is part of club advertising for me, and I, even before met him, did shoots like this. I also told him what I was wearing, who the photographer was, and where we were shooting. He literally saw me in the outfit I modeled. He lost it with me over the phone after seeing the pics and told me to not call him, and the next day texted me like nothing had happened. I tried to communicate with him and he kept shutting me down. I called him the next morning, asking to talk, and he broke up with me. He gave super clear reasons and was super cold. I was a wreck. 8 hours later, he's calling me and texting me about the mistake he made and apologizing. I love him so much, and seeing him upset makes me so upset. Especially because I never wanted to break up with him in the first place. Do I go back? If he's not okay with your career choice now, there's an incredibly high chance he's never going to be okay with it. If you go back, is it worth him still acting the same way? It seems quite controlling as is, and it doesn't exactly seem like he intends on changing that. Do not go back. You said he gave super clear reasons. He's not going to magically be okay with everything he just broke up with you for. He is not cool with your job, no matter how much he tries to backtrack now, and it will continue to be a problem in the future. If you want to take him back just to keep fighting out the exact same shit over and over again until you inevitably break up again, I guess that's your choice. Or you could honor his original request to break up and tell him to kick rocks. I know what I would do. Rock. Why does my boyfriend going out make me feel so horrible? I completely and utterly hate this feeling. When your stomach just drops and everything feels completely still. I don't even know why I feel like this. Whenever my boyfriend says he's got a party on or he's out at 1, I just get that horrible gut-wrenching feeling. He has never given me any reason to not trust him, which is what I'm confused about. Why can't I just be happy for him? I don't know if I'm insecure or if I've been hurt in the past or if I'm just a jealous and controlling freak, but I can't stand this feeling. I try telling myself that I've got absolutely nothing to worry about, but no matter what I tell myself, I can't shake this feeling. I love my boyfriend to utter bits, and I don't know if this is something I should break up with him over so I can work on this and not drag him into this miserable hole with. Why isn't he inviting you to these parties? You're totally normal for this. I had the same exact problem. In my case, I realized that it was a problem and I couldn't bring myself to deal with it, so I told my girlfriend about it. You need to find out why are you feeling like that, through meditation, venting, therapy, I don't know. This is an answer Reddit can't give you. My parents were married for almost 30 years, both of them would travel with their friends for days, and both would be chill. I think it's a trusting issue. If you don't trust him, either he had suspicious behavior or you are overreacting. You just need to find the root of your insecurities about him.